Hello, welcome to another Sunday morning video. Today I'm going to be talking about why didn't God intervene. So last week I did a video about why did God do that to me. And there's another end of that, which is why didn't God intervene. They kind of both go together sometimes. It does feel like God can cause something to happen or he can intervene. So I just wanted to talk about that real briefly. When I was growing up, I think some of the experiences I had, I remember thinking that a lot of times. On the story I mentioned on my last video, where my abusive mother had gotten real angry and dragged me off a couch. I remember wondering, like, why didn't God intervene? I don't know what I exactly thought was going to happen. Maybe I thought, like, angels were going to swoop in and pick me up or something. I just remember thinking something. God could have done something. Didn't matter what. You know, maybe send somebody to knock on the door right before she did it. And it just felt like there were thousands of things he could have done, but he didn't do it. So it felt like another aspect of my anger went to the fact that he didn't intervene. I'll give you another example. Me and my husband had a lot of difficult years, and sometimes it was because we had a lot of conflicts and things like that. But I just remember, like, I guess because I have had PTSD, and I've had some bipolar issues, and I've had PMDD. I wasn't able to work, and it gave me a lot of, I guess, sometimes stress or depression, sitting at home a lot and not being able to do anything. And then when we would have conflicts on top of it, it just felt unbearable. So I just remember there was a point where things just felt unbearable. Also dealing with my family, they had a lot of control over me and were very abusive, even while I was married. So going through all that made me feel really depressed and like I just couldn't take anymore. And I remember just thinking, why doesn't God intervene? And I remember he told my husband to buy a microphone. And I know it doesn't make sense. There were some things that were happening at the moment. We were in a church, and they did need microphones. So it was something that, like, God was kind of telling us to do as an obedience thing. And like, things began to change after that. Right after it, we seemed to just feel a little bit better. Some of the frustration was released. We still had issues, of course, but it just seemed to get a little bit better after that. So that became kind of like my standard. Like, when anything went wrong, why doesn't God tell me to buy a microphone, or why doesn't God tell me something? I think that's kind of what we're all waiting for. Why doesn't God do something? So so I'm going through something now where I feel that, like, why doesn't God just tell me something? But anyway, I guess what I want to say is it's just complicated. Like, God wants you to learn certain things. This is just how I feel. Um, if God doesn't intervene, sometimes there's something for you to learn. I mean, we all need to learn patience. I mean, I think that's a big one. So I usually kind of go to that, like, God isn't intervening because he he wants us to learn patience. He wants us to learn something. So sometimes it's, you know, learning how to handle something on your own. And I don't mean without God, but, like, we all have to seek to find different solutions to our problems. So what I find a lot of times is, like, sometimes God has an area for me to learn how to solve the problem, like, in a worldly way, for lack of a better description. Like, find a solution that the world has, And he kind of works with you once you find the solution. And there's a lot of trial and error in that. So that's a big reason why I think God doesn't intervene. He wants you to learn something specific that may be able to help somebody else too. So I guess that's the basic answer for it. But I just want to give you some hope if you are going through something like that, because I know the frustration. I felt it so many times. Why doesn't God intervene? Why doesn't He say something? And you know, even if He doesn't say something now, He will one day. Um, Things don't always last as long as you think, so you just have to get to the next day. I mean, that saying "one day at a time" really is accurate. So um, just hold on, and eventually you will hear something. It may not be about what you're asking, but like hearing something one day is better than nothing. So I guess that's where I'm going to leave it, and I will hopefully make some more videos in the future. Thank you.